Okay. Uh, my third video for the day. Told you I was in a video making mood. I don't know how long this one's gonna be because I'm expecting an appointment here at my wonderful office here that I manage. Over here. They're supposed to be showing up around 3:34. And it's 3:30. Um, so I was gonna go into what my roadblocks are at the moment. And like I said in my previous video, this is not for sympathy points. This is to show you, my viewer, hopefully as the numbers grow, my viewers. I think I have 2 people subscribed to my channel right now. Woohoo! Okay. It's to show that no matter what your roadblocks are, everyone has different ones. Some are more serious in the eyes of, different people, and some are petty in the eyes of other people. But you know what? It matters as to how you view them, not how others view your roadblocks. If the hardest thing in your life is to step out of the house, people who are easily able to do that, might not see that as a roadblock worthwhile. But if you're faced with that fear, it's not that simple to you. And that's really what everything in life comes down to, is how you feel about it, how you view it. My opinions, my goals, my thoughts are my own. Some people aren't going to like them. Some people are going to love them. Some people are going to think I'm just plain weird. Which, you know what? I don't give a... Okay, can't cuss there. So in other words, if you don't like me, it's your opinion. I know some people that do. I know some people that don't. I know some people who are on the fence. I know some people who would probably like to, hit me over the head. Hopefully not. But, that's one thing that a lot of people have problems with. And I feel that's one roadblock that I've finally gotten over, is caring what other people think about you. And you can't go through life worrying what others think. And unfortunately, I didn't get that message in school. I didn't get that message early on in life, in my adult life. And it took till I was 27, I think, and probably here recently, 28, to start to realize that I am who I am. Doesn't matter. My views are my own. My opinions are my own. And I'm proud to be able to say that, because I don't care what's on TV. I don't care what the person down the block is doing. I don't care what's currently hip or trendy at the moment. All I care about is who I am. And yeah, I have opinions on certain things. The kids nowadays walking around with their pants around their legs, I really don't like that. And I hate people that get angry for some of the stupidest things. But you know what? That's me. It's not. I obviously I'm just trying to make a point here, and I'm probably not doing a very good job of it. But I'm going to go into the things that are my roadblocks now. And if you know me personally, I'm not a very open book. I tend to keep things very personal and very private. And that's just because, I'm one of those people. I'd like to hear about you more than I'd like to talk about myself. So obviously making these videos is a little bit uncomfortable for me. And it's just something that I'm getting over. One thing you'll notice, I don't do a description right away, or keywords and stuff like that. So they might be pretty short at the beginning. That's because if I do that and I start worrying about all that stuff, I won't get these videos up. So I'm not going to worry about that. So Um, I'll probably be editing a lot of it post. um, so here it goes. My current situation right now is definitely not where I want to be. Um, I mean, my life is good. Um, I'm not homeless. I have an apartment. I have a roommate that I enjoy having around. Um, and she has a little girl that I enjoy having around even more because um, she's just the most precious little thing. Um, but the roadblocks that people might think of as impassable or overwhelming, they are overwhelming at times. I have a lot of financial issues. Um, I have health issues that I've had to face, and I'm still facing every day with no hope of really ever finding out what's wrong at the moment. um, and unfortunately, no health care to help out with that, so the bills keep piling up. Um, so I'm going to start with financials. Right now, I owe a lot of money to healthcare institutes, hospitals, doctors, uh, x-ray technicians, the person who assisted the x-ray technician, and the person who assisted the assistant to the x-ray technician. I tend to owe them all money. Um, and it's adding up. No health care. And, I'm one who I like to pay my bills. I don't like having bills that I can't pay. Um, and I filed bankruptcy about 6 years ago, and most of those were healthcare bills too. Um, and nothing against anybody out there who's in healthcare that really enjoys their job, but I'm not very keen on paying some of these bills just because when you go into the hospital because you're experiencing a pain that is something you'd really rather not ever experience again in your life. Not to mention the mental toll that it has. And they tell you, we don't know what it is. There's obviously something wrong, but you don't have health care, and it's going to be too expensive. So we recommend that you seek other options. Oh, thanks. You know, uh, that's what I really wanted to hear when I came to the hospital. I don't know. Uh, there's specialists out there that could probably help you, and we have a few on staff here at the hospital. But that whole no insurance thing, and it's not a life-threatening issue, so we're just gonna go ahead and ask you to leave. Oh yeah, that just makes me want to pay all those lovely bills that arrive in my mailbox. um, Not to mention, I go to the specialist, and I actually find they sent me to a neurologist, and I'll tell you what the issue is here in a minute. But they sent me to a neurologist, and I found a neurologist. I was actually pretty nice. He tried some of the tests that and did as little as he possibly could, so it didn't cost as much. Um, but unfortunately, really didn't help me out. And it still really sucks that he's not able to do the full range of tests um, because I can't afford it. Um, I have no health insurance, and I don't qualify for Medicaid or Medicare. Um, and obviously the clinics that are around, I was told there's a wait list for someone who needs to see specialists like what I would need because they say I need neurologists out the yin yang. Um, the waiting list is months upon months, and it's not exactly the most uplifting thought. But okay, I'll tell you what's wrong. Any doctors out there? Any tips? Love to hear it. My hands. Let's see if I can do my hands right there. I'm losing control of my hands. I'll have them in, I'll hold them in weird positions, and they hurts like hell to type. That's one of the reasons why I don't do a description right away. And to write with a pen or pencil, yeah, no, let's not even go there because that's some painful stuff. And as I'm losing precision control of my hands, it's very painful to be able to try to do anything. I mean, it's like trying to, pick up something very small is extremely painful. To type all day is painful. To work in retail where I have to count money, because that's a pretty precision, something that, you might not take, you might take for granted, but counting cash takes a little bit of precision with your hands, and I can't do it. I can, but it's very awkward. Holding my hands in any position feels weird. And unfortunately, this started out with my left hand, and now my left hand's pretty much fucked, screwed. And it's now moving to my right, so my right's in about the middle stage as, the whole cycle of my left hand. And unfortunately, that's moving a little faster than my left hand did. And no one's been able to tell me why. This is a good story. I once had a doctor. Wow, sorry, I'm really going over with the minutes here, but I once had a doctor tell me she was a neurologist, and I went to her office, and I went through everything, and she's like, well, we're going to have you go in for an MRI, which that was a lovely, expensive test, and I really enjoyed it. With contrast fluid, so, if I was to go through the airport, I'd set off their radioactive detectors. And they looked, and they're like, you know what, your brain, through the MRI and the contrast material, looks almost textbook perfect. And my EEG, the electrical impulses, they said was also almost textbook perfect. And this really, she's like, well, if the symptoms start getting worse, which they have, since that appointment, you might have some like tumors on your spine. And obviously you need to deal with that pretty quickly. But a whole body scan is really expensive. And so I'm going to recommend that you not get that. Unless things get worse. Which, just a lovely point to point out here. If things are getting worse, and they're telling you then to go in, when it could be that situation now, wouldn't you think that it'd be a little more life-saving if they knew about the tumors that day instead of a week or a month down the road when things got worse? Just a thought. I don't know. I'm sure if I had insurance, they probably would have been, hey, we need you to go down to the hospital today, and we need to do a full body scan. But no, it was, since we're pretty sure you're not going to be able to pay for it, let's just wait and see if things get worse. Oh, yeah, I just love living with this condition. I'm just going to sit around and hope someday someone gets off their ass and can tell me what's wrong. Sorry, that was a total rant and rave there. Obviously, that's been about a year since then. I'm not dead, so I'm pretty sure I don't have tumors on my spine. never did get the test because I really don't want to pay $10,000 to have a whole body scan. I really didn't want to even see the bill for $2,000 from the MRI. And I think that's lowballing it. I really don't know the exact amount. And I really don't want to see the 10 other bills that come in the mail for the 10 other people that were involved in that one MRI. So that's like health issues. And that kind of ties into my financial issues. As you can see, I'm in an office here. I work here as the office manager for my brother's startup business here. And I don't make a large amount of money, but it pays the bills. It pays my basic bills. But, you know, I've had situations where I had to struggle to make rent. And my rent is divided between me and my roommate. So it's like $350 at the most, and it's less than that, but I don't like getting into the exact numbers. And there's been times where I didn't know if I was going to be able to make that or not. I literally had to pull money out of every little place that I had. I went in and counted my change, and I've had to do that a few times. I've ran out of gas a bunch of times. Even been late to work here and a few other places because I ran out of gas because I can't afford to put $5 or $10 or whatever dollars in the truck. I had days where, I've gone with one meal for the day, and that was it. I mean, I know there's people out there that go with a lot less, and I'm not saying that I'm in the worst situation in the world. Obviously not in the best either. I have a few bills right now that are behind. They're getting paid, but they're behind. The hospital bills, like I said, I'm not too fond about paying those back at the moment. I think when I've come to terms with the fact that, it's a necessity of life, I guess, I'll start paying those. I do tend to really pay my business bills before anything else, and that's just because that is doing something for me. It's not telling me we don't know, try someone else. I have a lot of business ideas, and inside my head is a crazy mixed up 10,000 different ideas. There's a brand new idea, let's add that on top of the other 10,000. And I said in one of my previous videos that I had some mental issues. Those are my mental issues. I come up with a new idea every day. I come up with a new business idea. I come up with a new book idea. I come up with a new invention. I've had a few of those every day. And I don't get rid of those ideas. So they're all just kind of bouncing around up there. With right now, very little hope of bringing those to life. I'm working on it, and I was trying to work on several ideas at once, and I've just gone to just work on one idea at a time. And that's kind of, right now I'm working on publishing a book, and I've got a co-author to help me because I can't type without, tears. So that's one thing that I've had to learn. One of my obstacles is I had to learn you can't work on the 10,000 ideas at once. You've got to take one and you've got to focus on that. If I try to work on the 10,000 ideas or, the business ideas that I've got lined up all over the place, I'm just going to go nuts. But I'm going to go ahead and stop this for a moment, and I'll come back another time.